Hey everyone, tonight we're jumping into a super exciting place, a Wild West town. This isn't just any old town, it's a spot bursting with bright colors, loud noises, and amazing stories. You're not just going to hear about it like in a boring school book. Oh no, you're going to feel like you're really there. You'll sniff the dusty air, touch the rough wood of old buildings, and walk in the shoes of the tough folks who made this place special. Before we kick things off, do me a favor. Smack that like button if you love cool adventures, click subscribe to get more fun videos, and drop a comment to tell me where you're watching from and what time it is. Now grab a cozy blanket, turn down the lights, and get comfy. Let's step into this Wild West town, not just with plain facts, but by feeling the energy of its people, their hard times, and their big wins. Picture this, you're standing in the middle of a busy street. The sun is shining high, making everything look golden. The ground under your feet is dry and crunchy, like walking on crackers. A puff of wind carries a cloud of dust that tickles your nose. You squint because the light is so bright, and all around you there's action. Horses clop by, their hooves making a thump-thump sound on the dirt. A wagon creaks as it rolls past, loaded with barrels and sacks. Somewhere nearby, a dog barks and you hear the jingle of coins in someone's pocket. This town is alive, like a big, noisy party that never stops. Let's take a closer look. Over there you see a tall wooden building with a sign that says Saloon. It's got swinging doors that flap back and forth when people walk in. The saloon is the heart of the town, where folks gather to talk, laugh, and sometimes argue. You can smell the sharp tang of whiskey and the warm, smoky scent of food cooking inside. Maybe it's beans or a big pot of stew. Your stomach rumbles just thinking about it. The saloon's windows are dusty, but through them you spot shadows of people moving, maybe playing cards or tapping their boots to a tune from a squeaky piano. Now turn your head. Down the street there's a little shop called the General Store. It's packed with stuff, sacks of flour, jars of candy, and shiny tools hanging on the walls. A lady in a long dress is sweeping the porch, and she waves at a kid running by with a hoop and stick. The kid giggles, dodging a man in a big hat who's carrying a heavy sack over his shoulder. Everywhere you look, people are busy. Some are working, some are chatting, and some are just sitting on barrel, watching the world go by. This town feels like a big family where everyone knows everyone else, even if they don't always get along. What's that sound? It's a loud clang from the blacksmith shop across the way. The blacksmith is a strong guy with a leather apron hammering a red-hot piece of metal. Sparks fly like tiny fireworks and the air smells like burning coal. He's making a horseshoe and you can feel the heat from his fire even from here. The rhythm of his hammer, bang, 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 mixes with the chatter of folks nearby. It's like the town has its own music, made of all these little sounds coming together. Let's talk about the people for a second. The Wild West town is full of all kinds of folks. There are cowboys with dusty boots and wide hats who ride horses all day and tell stories about chasing cattle. There are shopkeepers who count their coins carefully and always have a smile for customers. There are families, moms, dads, and kids who work hard to make a home in this tough place. And don't forget the travelers, people passing through with strange accents and weird clothes, bringing news from faraway places. Every person here has a story. Maybe one's dreaming of finding gold, another's worried about feeding their kids, and someone else just wants to win at cards tonight. Their hopes, fears, and hard work are what make this town tick. Now close your eyes for a moment and imagine the smells. The air is full of them. There's the dry, earthy smell of the dirt street kicked up by boots and wheels. You catch a whiff of fresh bread from a bakery tucked between two buildings. Then there's the sharp, tangy scent of leather from saddles piled outside the stable. If you sniff hard, you might even smell the sweet hay where the horses are munching. All these smells mix together, telling you this is a place where life is happening every second. What about how things feel? Reach out and touch the wooden railing by the saloon. It's rough and splintery, warmed by the sun. Your boots crunch on the gravelly ground and you feel a little wobbly because the street isn't smooth like a city sidewalk. If you brush against a horse tied to a post, its coat is warm and a bit dusty. Even the air feels different here, dry and hot, like it's hugging you tight. Everything you touch or feel reminds you that this town is tough, but it's also full of life. Let's walk a bit farther. You pass a big water pump where a couple of kids are splashing each other, laughing as water drips down their faces. The pump squeaks every time they push the handle and the water sparkles in the sunlight. Nearby, a man is fixing a wagon wheel, his hands black with grease. He grumbles to himself, but you can tell he's proud of his work. A little ways down, a group of women in bonnets are chatting outside a tiny church. They're planning a dance for Saturday night, and their voices are full of excitement. All these people doing their own things make the town feel like a big puzzle with lots of pieces fitting together. Now let's think about why this town matters. The Wild West wasn't just a place on a map. It was a time when people were brave or sometimes scared, but they kept going anyway. They built homes, shops, and saloons out of almost nothing. They faced hot summers, cold winters, and sometimes even danger like robbers or storms. But they didn't give up. They laughed, sang, and helped each other. That's what we're going to explore tonight, not just the boring stuff like dates or names, but the real stuff. What did they eat? How did they live? What made them happy or sad? We're going to feel like we're one of them, living in their world. Oh, and speaking of food, since you love the idea of Wild West saloons, let's talk about that for a second. The saloon is where people went to eat, drink, and have fun. Imagine walking in and seeing a big wooden bar shiny from years of use. There's a guy pouring drinks, maybe whiskey or sarsaparilla, which is like a fizzy root beer. On the tables, you'd find plates of beans, chunks of tough bread, or maybe a bowl of spicy chili. The food wasn't fancy, but it filled you up after a long day of riding horses or digging for gold. You can almost taste the smoky beans or hear the clink of a spoon against a tin plate. The saloon was more than a place to eat. It was where stories were told, fights started, and friends were made. Let's zoom out a bit. This Wild West town sits in a big, wide land. Beyond the buildings, you see flat plains stretching out forever with mountains poking up in the distance. The sky is huge, like a giant blue blanket, and sometimes it's dotted with fluffy clouds. Other times it's gray and you know a storm's coming. The land around the town is tough, dry, and rocky, with patches of prickly cactus or scruffy grass. But it's beautiful too, especially when the sun sets and everything turns pink and orange. This land shapes the people who live here. it makes them strong because they have to be. What's cool about this town is how it's always moving. Even when it's quiet, like early in the morning, there's a feeling that something about to happen. Maybe a stagecoach will roll in bringing new people. Maybe there'll be a big card game at the saloon tonight. Or maybe someone will find gold and the whole town will go wild with excitement. You can feel the energy like a heartbeat thumping through the streets. That's what we're diving into tonight, the pulse of this place, the things that make it special. Let's talk about you for a second. Yeah, you sitting there watching this, you're part of this adventure. Imagine you're not just watching, but actually here, standing in the dust, hearing the horses, smelling the coffee from the saloon. What would you do? Would you head to the saloon for a plate of beans? Or maybe you'd wander to the stable to pet a horse. Maybe you're brave enough to talk to the sheriff, who's got a shiny star on his chest and a serious look in his eyes. This story isn't just about the past, it's about imagining yourself in it. So keep that picture in your mind as we go. Now let's set the mood a little more. Imagine it's nighttime and you're still in the town. The stars are out, twinkling like tiny lanterns in the sky. The saloon's still open and you hear laughter and music spilling out. Someone playing a harmonica and it sounds sweet and a little sad. The air's cooler now and you pull your jacket tighter. You can still smell the dust, but there's also a faint scent of wildflowers from somewhere nearby. The town feels different at night. You open your eyes and a new day begins in a Wild West town. The soft creak of wagon wheels drifts through the air like a squeaky toy rolling slowly. Far away, horses let out a gentle neigh, their voices mixing with the morning breeze. A whiff of dusty ground and old whiskey tickles your nose, sharp and tangy. You're lying in a tiny room above the saloon, the place where people drink and laugh. The room is small, with rough, splintery walls that look like they've seen many years. Your bed is wobbly, and the mattress sags in the middle, making you sink down like you're in a soft hammock. A single window, cracked at the corner, lets in a thin ray of sunlight that dances on the wooden floor. Outside, the town is alive, buzzing with energy. You sit up, stretch, and slip on a faded cotton shirt, soft but worn from many washes. Then you tug on your dusty boots, feeling the tough leather hug your feet tightly. You stand and walk to the door, your boots thumping on the creaky floor. When you step outside, the street hits you with bright, sun-bleached wooden shops, their signs swinging in the breeze. Stray dogs scamper between barrels, yipping and chasing each other. Men in wide hats, called prospectors, argue loudly over sacks of flour and shiny tools. This place isn't just a spot on a map. It's a living, breathing world that pulls you in like a big, noisy hug. The morning air feels warm already, even though the sun's just climbing up the sky. You blink, squinting at the light that bounces off the dirt street. The ground under your boots is gritty, crunching with every step like walking on tiny pebbles. You hear a clatter nearby, a man pushing a cart full of rattling pots. Somewhere else, a rooster crows, loud and proud, telling everyone it's time to get moving. The saloon below your room is quiet now, but you can still smell the faint, smoky scent of last night's drinks and food. Your stomach rumbles, thinking of breakfast. Maybe there'll be warm cornbread or a bowl of beans waiting later. Let's talk about your room for a bit. It's not big, barely enough space for the bed, a wobbly chair, and a small table. The walls are made of old wood, rough and scratchy if you brush against them. Tiny slivers of wood stick out, catching the light like little spikes. The bed has a thin blanket, prickly and patched, but it kept you warm through the chilly night. On the table sits a dented tin cup and a stubby candle, its wax dripping down like frozen tears. The cracked window lets in a breeze, cool and sharp, that makes the dusty curtain flutter. You walk over and peek out. The glass is blurry, but you see the street below, alive with motion. A kid runs by, kicking a can that clangs against a post. A horse snorts, tied to a rail, its tail swishing at flies. You feel like you're part of something big, something that never stops moving. Now imagine lying back on that sagging bed for a moment. The mattress creaks under you and you feel every lump and dip. It's not comfy like a fluffy pillow, but it's yours for now. You close your eyes and listen. The wagon wheels keep squeaking, steady and slow. A woman's voice calls out, maybe telling her kids to hurry up. A hammer bangs from somewhere, a blacksmith starting his work early. The sounds weave together, like a song that tells the story of the town waking up. You breathe in, and the air smells of dry earth, like when you dig in a garden. There's also a hint of something sweet, maybe flowers growing wild nearby. Your fingers brush the blanket, rough and woolly, reminding you of a scratchy sweater. This room, this moment, feels real, like you're really here. You sit up again and decide it's time to get ready. You walk to the table, where a chipped bowl holds a bit of water. You splash some on your face and it's cold, making you shiver. The water drips down your chin and you wipe it with your sleeve. The cotton shirt you're wearing is light but tough, with a few holes at the elbows. It's soft against your skin like an old favorite t-shirt. You pull on your boots one at a time. They're heavy, with scuffs and dirt caked on from walking through the town. The leather is stiff, squeezing your toes a little, but it feels strong, like it can carry you anywhere. You tie the laces and they make a soft swish sound. Standing up, you stretch your arms, feeling your muscles wake up. The floor groans under your weight, each step making a new creak, like the room talking to you. Before you head out, you glance around the room one more time. There's a rusty nail sticking out of the wall, maybe where someone hung a hat long ago. The ceiling is low, with dark beams that look like they're holding up the whole saloon. You wonder who else has slept here, maybe a cowboy after a long ride, or a traveler passing through. The thought makes the room feel like it's full of stories, even if it's empty now. You push the door open and it squeaks on its hinges, letting in a blast of warm air from outside. The smell of dust hits you again, mixed with something new, maybe smoke from a fire someone's cooking over. Your heart beats a little faster, excited for what's waiting. You step onto the narrow stairs that lead down from your room. They're wobbly and you hold the railing, which is smooth from years of hands gripping it. Each step creaks louder than the floor and you move slowly so you don't trip. The stairs twist a bit and you see the saloon below, still dark and quiet. Tables are scattered around, with chairs tipped upside down on them. A broom leans against the wall, waiting for someone to sweep up last night's mess. You reach the bottom and pause, letting your eyes adjust to the dim light. The saloon smells different down here, like old beer and polished wood. You can almost hear the echoes of last night's laughter and music. Now you push through the saloon's swinging doors and the world outside hits you like a wave. The street is bright, the sun climbing higher now. Wooden shops line the road, their signs painted with big letters: General Store, Barber, Livery. The wood is faded, bleached white by the sun, but it looks sturdy, like it's been here forever. Barrels are stacked outside the store, some with apples spilling out. A stray dog, brown and scruffy, darts past, chasing a fluttering butterfly. You hear a man shout, "2 bits for the lot." He's a prospector, his face red and sweaty, holding up a sack of potatoes. Another man shakes his head, waving a handful of coins. They argue, but it's friendly, like they do this every day. Look around some more. A woman in a long dress sweeps the porch of a shop, her broom making a soft swish swish. She hums a tune, and it's pretty, like a lullaby. A kid, maybe 8 years old, runs by with a stick, pretending it's a sword. He laughs, dodging a pile of crates. Horses are tied to posts along the street, their coats shiny in the sun. One chews on a bit of hay, and you smell its earthy scent. The street is alive with motion, people walking, carts rolling, dogs yipping. It's loud, but not scary. It's exciting, like the whole town is awake and ready for the day. You take a step forward and the ground crunches under your boots. The dirt is dry, puffing up in little clouds with each step. You feel the sun on your face, warm and strong, like standing near a campfire. The air carries new smells now, fresh bread from a bakery down the street and maybe coffee brewing somewhere. Your mouth waters, thinking of a hot drink. You look up and the sky is huge, bright blue with not a single cloud. It stretches over the town, making everything feel big and open. Far off, you see flat plains with a few hills in the distance. The land looks tough, but it's beautiful, like a painting. Let's pause and imagine you're really here. What do you notice? Maybe the jingle of spurs on a cowboy's boots as he walks by, or the squeak of a sign swinging in the breeze. You might feel the rough wood of a post you lean against, or the tickle of dust in your nose. This town is more than just buildings and people. It's a place that moves and breathes, like a giant animal waking up. Every sound, every smell, every sight pulls you in, making you part of it. You're not just visiting, you're living here, even if it's just for today. Now let's meet a few people. Over by the general store, there's a man with a bushy beard stacking crates. His name's Tom, and he's always whistling. He nods at you, his eyes crinkling with a smile. Across the street, a lady named Sarah sells eggs from a basket. She's got a loud voice, calling out to everyone who passes. A kid named Billy, the one with the stick, waves at you, then runs off to chase his friends. These folks are part of the town's heartbeat. They work, laugh, and keep the place going, even when it's hard. The street keeps moving. A wagon rolls by, its driver snapping the reins to make the horses go faster. The wheels kick up more dust, and you wave it away from your face. A dog barks at the wagon, then trots off to sniff a barrel. You hear a bell jingle, someone's opening the door to the barber shop. The town feels like a big puzzle, with every piece fitting together. The prospectors arguing, the lady sweeping, the kid playing, they're all part of the picture. You take another step, and the air feels warmer now. The sun's higher, and you shade your eyes with your hand. The wooden shops glow in the light, their shadows stretching long across the street. You smell something new, maybe leather from saddles piled outside the livery. It's sharp and rich, like a new baseball glove. You walk closer to a shop and see a sign that says bakery. The smell of fresh bread is stronger here, warm and cozy. You can almost taste it, soft and chewy. Your stomach growls again, louder this time. Let's look at the saloon again. It's right behind you, its swinging doors still now. The building is tall, with a balcony where your room is. The wood is weathered, but there's a carved sign above the doors, painted red and gold. You can't read it from here, but it looks fancy. The saloon is the center of the town, where people go to eat, talk, and have fun. You imagine the noise at night, music, shouting, glasses clinking. But now it's calm, waiting for the day to get busy. You turn back to the street. A man rides by on a horse, his hat tipped low. He nods at you and you nod back, feeling like you belong. A group of kids play near a water pump, splashing each other and laughing. The water sparkles in the sun and the pump squeaks with every push. You hear a woman shout, "Don't waste it," but she's smiling. The town is full of these moments, small, happy things that make it feel alive. Now imagine standing still for a second. Close your eyes and listen. The creak of wagon wheels is softer now, but you still hear it. A horse snorts and a hammer bangs again, steady like a drum. Voices float around, people talking, calling, laughing. You breathe in and the air is warm, carrying dust, smoke, and a hint of flowers. Your boots feel heavy but strong, ready to carry you through the day. Your shirt is soft, brushing your arms as you move. This town is wrapping you up, pulling you into its world. It's not just a place, it's a feeling, like being part of something big and exciting. Let's walk a little farther. The street curves and you see more shops. One has a sign that says blacksmith. You hear the bang of metal and see sparks flying inside. The blacksmith is a big man, his arms strong from years of work. He's shaping a horseshoe and the air smells like hot iron. You watch for a moment, amazed at how he turns a plain piece of metal into something useful. The sparks glitter, then fade, like tiny stars falling to the ground. Nearby, a lady sells flowers from a cart. They're bright red, yellow, purple, standing out against the dusty street. She smiles at you, offering a daisy. You take it and it's soft, with a sweet smell that makes you smile back. The flower feels like a little piece of the town's heart, something gentle in a tough place. You tuck it in your pocket, careful not to crush it. The street keeps going, and so does the noise. A man pushes a wheelbarrow full of hay, whistling a tune. A dog follows him, hopping for a treat. You hear a bell again, this time from a small church at the end of the street. It's wooden like everything else, with a little steeple pointing to the sky. A few people are outside, talking quietly. They're planning something, maybe a party or a meeting. You feel curious, wanting to know more. Now let's think about the town's energy. It's like a river flowing all around you. The people, the animals, the sounds, they all mix together, making the place feel alive. You're not just watching it, you're in it. Your boots kick up dust, your nose catches new smells, your ears pick up every clatter and shout. This is what makes the Wild West special. It's not just buildings or streets, it's the life pumping through it like blood in a body. The prospectors arguing, the kids playing, the horses trotting, they're all part of the pulse. You take another step and the ground feels different here, a little harder, packed down by years of boots and wheels. You look up and the sky is still bright, but a single cloud floats by, soft and white. It's peaceful even with all the noise. You smell coffee again, stronger now, coming from a shop with an open door. A man sits outside, sipping from a tin cup. He waves and you wave back, feeling like you're starting to know this place. Let's meet another person. There's a girl, maybe 10 years old, sitting on a crate. She's drawing in the dirt with a stick, making swirls and shapes. Her name's Ellie and she loves stories. She looks up and grins, showing a missing tooth. "You new here?" she asks. You nod and she points down the street. "The saloon's got good food," she says. "Try the cornbread." You smile, liking her energy. Ellie's part of the town, too, with her drawings and her chatter. The street keeps moving, and so do you. A wagon rolls past, this one piled with lumber. The driver whistles at his horses, and they pick up speed. Dust swirls, and you step back, brushing it from your shirt. A dog barks at the wagon, then runs off to chase a squirrel. You laugh, feeling the town's joy. It's not all work here, there's fun, too. You notice a shop with a sign that says tailor. A woman inside is sewing, her needle flashing in the light. She's making a shirt and the cloth is bright blue, different from the dusty colors everywhere else. You watch for a moment, amazed at her quick hands. The air smells like clean fabric, soft and new. It's a nice change from the dust and smoke. Now let's pause again. Imagine you're standing in the middle of the street. The sun's warm on your face and your boots are dusty. You hear the town's sounds, wheels, voices, hammers, bells. You smell bread, leather, coffee, flowers. Your shirt feels soft, your boots strong. This place is alive and you're part of it. Every step you take, every sight you see pulls you deeper into the Wild West. It's not just a town, it's a world full of stories waiting to be told. You keep walking and the street gets busier. A man rides by on a horse, his saddle creaking. He tips his hat and you nod back. A group of kids run past, shouting and laughing. They're playing tag, dodging barrels and crates. You smile, remembering games you've played. The town feels friendly, even if it's loud and rough. You smell something new, smoke, but not from a fire. It's a man smoking a pipe, sitting on a bench outside the general store. He's old, with a white beard, and he's watching the street like it's a show. He nods at you, and you nod back, feeling like you're part of the scene. The smoke smells sweet, like dried leaves, and it curls up into the air. The street curves again, and you see a big water pump. A boy is working it, pushing the handle up and down. Water splashes into a bucket, sparkling in the sun. He grins, proud of his work. A girl nearby waits her turn, holding a jug. They're chatting and you catch a few words, something about a dance tomorrow. The pump squeaks and the water makes a soft glug-glug sound. You feel thirsty, thinking of a cool drink. Let's look at the shops again. One has a sign that says livery, where horses are kept. You see a man brushing a horse, its coat shiny and black. The air smells like hay and leather, warm and earthy. The horse snorts, happy to be clean. You watch, liking the calm moment in the busy town. Now imagine the town's heartbeat again. It's in the clatter of wheels, the chatter of voices, the thump of boots. It's in the smells, dust, bread, smoke, flowers. It's in the sights, shops, horses, kids, barrels. You're not just visiting, you're living here, feeling every bit of the town's energy. This is the Wild West, a place that's tough but full of life. You take one more step and the street opens up. You see more of the town now, houses at the edge, small and wooden with little gardens. A woman waters plants, her bucket sloshing. A man chops wood, his axe thumping. The The sounds and smells keep coming, wrapping you in the town's world. You feel awake, ready for whatever comes next. This town is more than a place. It's a story told by every person, every sound, every smell. You're part of it now, walking its streets, breathing its air. The Wild West is alive, and you're right in the middle, ready to see what the day brings. To stay alive in this Wild West town, you need water and food every day. The first thing you do is go get water from a rusty pump at the edge of town. It's not an easy job. You have to step carefully over muddy ruts in the ground. These ruts are wet and slippery, like a muddy slide, and you could fall if you're not careful. You also have to watch out for a cattle drive. That's when cowboys move a big group of cows through the street. It's loud, dusty, and a bit scary, so you don't want to get in their way. You grab a bucket from beside the saloon where you live. The bucket is wooden with a metal handle that feels cold and smooth. It's heavy even without water, and it swings a bit as you hold it. You start walking toward the pump. The street is already busy, even though it's early in the morning. You hear wagon wheels creaking like a squeaky door and a horse's harness jingling like tiny bells. A dog barks somewhere and a man yells, "Hurry up," to his donkey. The air has a dusty smell, like when you sweep a dry floor, mixed with a whiff of animals from nearby stables. Your boots crunch on the dirt road, kicking up little clouds of dust. The sun is climbing higher, and its warm light touches your face. You squint to see the pump far ahead. The path to the pump is rough. You step over a big rut, and the mud sticks to your boots, making them feel heavy. It's squishy, like stepping in wet clay, and you lift your feet slowly to keep your boots on. A soft breeze blows, carrying the scent of damp ground and wild grass. You look around, and the town feels open here, with fewer buildings. Beyond the street, flat plains stretch out, covered with short, scruffy bushes. A little bird chirps from a fence post, its wings flapping fast. The pump is closer now, standing tall and rusty next to a wooden trough. Suddenly, you hear a loud rumble. It's a cattle drive. You stop and move to the side, pressing against a wooden fence. Dozens of cows march by, their hooves thumping the ground like a drum. A cowboy rides a horse nearby, shouting, "Move it, yah!" His hat is low and his voice is gruff. The cows are huge, with long, pointy horns, and they stir up so much dust you cover your nose with your hand. The air smells like sweaty animals and churned up dirt. You hold your bucket tight, waiting until the last cow passes. The cowboy tips his hat to you, and you nod back, feeling like you're part of this wild place. You finally reach the pump. It's old, with red rust peeling off its metal body. The handle is long and looks heavy. When you touch it, it squeaks like a mouse. You place your bucket under the spout and grab the handle with both hands. You push it down, then pull it up, and the pump makes a groaning sound like it's waking up. Water trickles out at first, then pours faster, splashing into the bucket. It's clear and cool, shining in the sunlight. You keep pumping, and the water makes a glug-glug noise like pouring milk into a glass. Some drops splash on your hands, and they're cold, making you shiver a little. Look around while you pump. A boy runs up, holding a clay jug. He's about 9, with a big floppy hat that slips over his eyes. "Can I go next?" he asks, smiling wide. You nod, and he waits, kicking a small rock with his shoe. A woman walks over, carrying a baby on her hip. She has a woven basket for water and says, "Nice morning, isn't it?" You smile and agree. The pump is a busy spot, like a school playground, where people come to get water and talk. Now you hear the squeak squeak of the handle and the splash of water in other buckets. The air smells fresh, like after a rain, mixed with the dusty scent of the road. You keep pushing the handle and the bucket fills up. Your arms start to feel tired, but you're strong. The water sloshes, heavy now, and you stop when the bucket's full. You wipe your forehead, feeling a bit of sweat under your hat. The boy takes your place, grabbing the handle and pumping hard. Water spills and he laughs, getting his shirt wet. You grin, liking his happy energy. The woman with the baby starts filling her basket, humming a quiet song. This pump isn't just for water, it's where the town meets and shares stories. You pick up your bucket and it's heavier than you expected. Water sways inside and you hold the handle tight to keep it steady. You start walking back to the saloon, watching your steps to avoid the muddy ruts. The street is busier now. A wagon rolls by, its wheels creaking under a pile of barrel. You step to the side to let it pass. A dog runs past, chasing a cat, and you chuckle, careful not to spill your water. The air has a new smell, smoke, maybe from someone cooking nearby. You sniff and your stomach growls, thinking about food. The saloon isn't far, but the bucket makes your arms ache. You switch hands, feeling the metal handle press into your palm. You pass a shop with a sign that says bakery. A warm, sweet smell of fresh bread floats out. You see a man buying a loaf and he waves at you. You nod, keeping your eyes on the ground to stay steady. A girl runs by, calling to her friend, and you pause to let her pass. The town is full of life, like a beehive buzzing with action, and you're right in the middle. You reach the saloon and push through its swinging doors. Inside, it's cooler and smells like old wood and a hint of beer. You set the bucket down near the wall and a little water splashes out, making a small puddle. You wipe your hands on your shirt, feeling good about your work. Getting water was tough, but you did it. Now it's time to eat. You walk to a small table in the saloon's corner. A plate waiting for you with hardtack biscuits and strips of bacon. The biscuits are dry and crumbly like thick crackers. The bacon is shiny with grease curling at the edges. Next to the plate is a tin mug filled with black coffee, steam rising from it. You sit down and the wooden chair squeaks. You pick up a biscuit and take a bite. It's hard and crunchy with a smoky taste like campfire bread. You chew slowly, feeling it break apart in your mouth. Next, you try the bacon. It's chewy and salty with a greasy snap that fills your mouth with flavor. You munch carefully, enjoying every bite. Then you grab the tin mug. The coffee is hot and bitter, stinging your tongue a little, but it warms your hands and wakes you up. Now you sip it slowly, feeling the tin's cool edge against your lips. The saloon is quiet now, with only a few people sitting nearby. You hear a spoon clink against a plate and the soft thud of boots on the floor. This meal is simple, but it's special. You eat slowly, savoring the smoky bacon and tough biscuit. The coffee's bitter taste makes you feel ready for the day. The saloon will soon be noisy, with glasses clinking and people eating big meals. But for now, you're in a peaceful moment, just you and your food. The biscuits crunch, the bacon snaps, and the coffee warms you. You feel strong, ready for the work ahead in this lively town. You step into the saloon, ready to start a busy day in this Wild West town. Your hands grab a heavy tray or a scratchy broom and your muscles tight, like they're getting ready for a big job. You serve drinks, clean tables, or carry big crates of whiskey. Every task makes you sweat and your arms feel tired, but it's important work. The clink of glasses and the scrape of boots on the wooden floor sound close, like they're part of you. You're not just staying alive, you're part of a big, steady beat that keeps the town going. Around you, other people work hard too. Tough cowboys sip their drinks slowly, and a quick bartender pours shots with sharp eyes. Everyone has a story of strength and pushing through hard times. The saloon is a wide room, but it feels warm and full of life. You push through the swinging doors and they squeak like an old gate. The air smells like whiskey, sharp and strong, with a smoky whiff from a fire burning in the corner. The floor is worn wood, sticky in spots from spilled drinks. Your boots thud softly as you walk, and you hear a jingle from coins in a man's pocket. Tables are scattered around, some wobbly, with chairs pushed in or tipped over from last night. The bar stretches along one wall, shiny from years of wiping. Bottles of whiskey and tin mugs glow in the dim light from lanterns hanging high. You pick up a metal tray, heavy and cold. It's smooth but tricky to hold, and your fingers grip it tight so it doesn't slip. Look around the saloon. It's early, but a few people are here. A cowboy sits at a table, his hat low over his eyes. He's sipping a drink and his boots rest on a chair. At the bar, a man named Jake, the bartender, polishes a mug. His hands move fast and his eyes watch everything. A woman named Sally, who serves food, carries a plate of beans to a table. The beans smell warm and smoky, making your stomach rumble. The saloon feels like a big family, with everyone doing their part. You take a deep breath, smelling the whiskey and wood, and feel ready to work. You start by grabbing the tray. It's loaded with tin mugs, some filled with whiskey, others with sarsaparilla, a fizzy drink like root beer. The mugs bump together, making a soft ting-ting sound. Your arms feel strong but heavy, and you walk carefully so nothing spills. You weave between tables, stepping over a creaky board. The floor is uneven, and you feel it shift under your boots. You stop at a table where a cowboy sits. He's got a dusty hat and a rough beard. His eyes look tired, like he's been riding all day. "Thanks, kid," he says as you set a mug down. The whiskey smells sharp, like a doctor's office, and it tickles your nose. You nod and move on, feeling good about helping. You head to another table, where two men are talking loud about a gold mine. They're excited, waving their hands, and one slaps the table, making the mugs jump. "Found a big nugget," he says, and they laugh. You set down their drinks and they nod, too busy to talk. The sarsaparilla smells sweet, like candy, and it fizzes in the mugs. You smile, liking the saloon's happy noise. The tray feels heavier now, and sweat beads on your forehead. You wipe it with your sleeve, feeling the soft cotton of your shirt. The saloon is getting busier, and you hear more sounds. Glasses clinking, boots thumping, and voices humming. Listen closely. A man in the corner strums a guitar, playing a slow tune that makes the saloon feel cozy. You smell sweat from the crowd, mixed with a sweet puff of tobacco from a man smoking a pipe. Your tray wobbles a little and you grip it tighter. The floor creaks under your boots and you step over a sticky spot, careful not to slip. Serving drinks is hard work, but it makes you feel like you're part of the saloon's big, lively pulse. You set the tray down for a moment, resting your arms. They're sore, but you're proud of carrying it without spilling. You grab another tray, this one with more mugs. You walk to a table near the bar where a woman sits alone. She's got a long dress and a tired smile. "Just water," she says, and you set a mug down. The water is clear, sparkling in the light. She thanks you and you move to a table with 3 cowboys. They're quiet, sipping whiskey slowly. One has a scar on his hand, like he's worked hard his whole life. You set their mugs down and they nod, saying nothing. The whiskey's smell is strong, making. You step into the saloon, ready to start a hard day's work in this Wild West town. Your hands grab a heavy tray or a rough broom and your muscles feel tight, like they're waking up for a big job. You serve drinks, clean tables, or carry big crates of whiskey. Every task makes you sweat and your arms get sore, but it feels important. The clink of glasses and the scrape of boots on the wooden floor sound close, like they're talking to you. You're not just staying alive, you're part of a big, steady beat that keeps the town moving. Around you, other folks work hard too. Tough cowboys sip their drinks slowly, and a quick bartender pours shots with sharp eyes. Everyone has a story of strength and pushing through tough times. The saloon is a wide room, but it feels warm and full of life. You push through the swinging doors and they squeak like an old gate. The air smells like whiskey, sharp and strong, with a smoky whiff from a fire burning in the corner. The floor is worn wood, sticky in spots from spilled drinks. Your boots thud softly as you walk, and you hear a jingle from coins in a man's pocket. Tables are scattered around, some wobbly, with chairs pushed in or tipped over from last night's fun. The bar stretches along one wall, shiny from years of wiping. Bottles of whiskey and tin mugs glow in the dim light from lanterns hanging high. You pick up a metal tray, heavy and cold. It's smooth but tricky to hold, and your fingers grip it tight so it doesn't slip. Look around the saloon. It's early, but a few people are here. A cowboy sits at a table, his hat low over his eyes. He's sipping a drink and his boots rest on a chair. At the bar, a man named Jake, the bartender, polishes a mug. His hands move fast and his eyes watch everything. A woman named Sally, who serves food, carries a plate of beans to a table. The beans smell warm and smoky, making your stomach rumble. The saloon feels like a big family, with everyone doing their part. You take a deep breath, smelling the whiskey and wood, and feel ready to work. You start by grabbing the tray. It's loaded with tin mugs, some filled with whiskey, others with sarsaparilla, a bubbly drink like root beer. The mugs bump together, making a soft ting-ting sound. Your arms feel strong but heavy, and you walk carefully so nothing spills. You weave between tables, stepping over a creaky board. The floor is uneven, and you feel it shift under your boots. You stop at a table where a cowboy sits. He's got a dusty hat and a rough beard. His eyes look tired, like he's been riding horses all day. "Thanks, kid," he says as you set a mug down. The whiskey has a sharp smell like medicine and it tickles your nose. You nod and move on, feeling good about helping. You head to another table where 2 men are talking loud about a gold mine. They're excited, waving their hands, and one slaps the table, making the mugs jump. "Found a big nugget," he says, and they laugh. You set down their drinks and they nod, too busy to talk. The sarsaparilla smells sweet, like candy, and it fizzes in the mugs. You smile, liking the saloon's happy noise. The tray feels heavier now and sweat beads on your forehead. You wipe it with your sleeve, feeling the soft cotton of your shirt. The saloon is getting busier and you hear more sounds. Glasses clinking, boots thumping, and voices humming. Listen closely. A man in the corner strums a guitar, playing a slow tune that makes the saloon feel cozy. You smell sweat from the crowd, mixed with a sweet puff of tobacco from a man smoking a pipe. Your tray wobbles a little and you grip it tighter. The floor creaks under your boots and you step over a sticky spot, careful not to slip. Serving drinks is hard work, but it makes you feel like you're part of the saloon's big, lively pulse. You set the tray down for a moment, resting your arms. They're sore, but you're proud of carrying it without spilling. You grab another tray, this one with more mugs. You walk to a table near the bar where a woman sits alone. She's got a long dress and a tired smile. "Just water," she says, and you set a mug down. The water is clear, sparkling in the light. She thanks you and you move to a table with 3 cowboys. They're quiet, sipping whiskey slowly. One has a scar on his hand, like he's worked hard his whole life. You set their mugs down and they nod, saying nothing. The whiskey's smell is strong, making your nose tingle. You keep moving, carrying the tray to a corner table where a man plays cards alone. He's old, with a white beard, and he mutters to himself, flipping cards. You set a mug of sarsaparilla down and he grunts, "Good." You smile, liking how everyone's different. The saloon's noise grows louder. You hear a laugh from a table where men tell stories. A chair scrapes as someone stands. Jake, the bartender, calls out, "More whiskey over here." His voice is sharp, cutting through the hum. You grab another tray from the bar and Jake winks, saying, "Keep up, kid." You nod, feeling like you're part of his team. The tray is heavy with new mugs and you carry it carefully, stepping around a spilled drink. The floor's stickier now, and your boots make a squishy sound. The sweat runs down your back and your shirt sticks to your skin. You keep going, serving drinks to more tables, each one with its own people and stories. You stop at a table with a young cowboy. He's got a bright red scarf and a big grin. "Heard about the stagecoach?" he asks, sipping his drink. You shake your head and he leans in. "Got robbed last week, but the driver fought back." His eyes shine like he's telling a big adventure. You smile, setting down another mug and move on. The saloon feels like a place where stories live and you're helping keep it going. The tray's weight pulls at your arms, but you hold it steady, proud of your work. You stand in the saloon and something makes you look up. There you see the sheriff's badge shining on his vest, bright like a tiny star. It tells everyone he's in charge and his power feels strong, like a heavy weight. In this Wild West town, following the sheriff's rules isn't just a choice, it's how you stay safe. People whisper all around you, sharing stories of a stagecoach robbery that went wrong, or scary tales of hangings and shootouts. These stories change how the town feels, making it quiet and careful. The saloon hums with talk, with folks guessing who might get in trouble with the law next. The saloon is a big, noisy place, but right now it feels different. You're near the swinging doors and they creak as someone walks in. The sheriff steps inside, his boots thumping on the wooden floor. His badge catches the light from a lantern, flashing silver and gold. He's tall, with a wide hat and a serious face. His eyes move slow, looking at everyone like he's checking for trouble. Your heart beats a little faster, not because you did anything wrong, but because the sheriff's power feels so big. The air smells like whiskey and smoke, but there's a new smell too, leather from the sheriff's vest, sharp and strong. You hear a soft clink from his spurs, jingling with each step. Look around the saloon. People notice the sheriff too. A cowboy at a table stops talking and pulls his hat lower. A woman serving drinks pauses, her tray wobbling a bit. Even Jake, the bartender, slows down, wiping the bar a little quieter. The sheriff's badge isn't just shiny, it's a sign that he makes the rules. You feel it in your chest, a heavy feeling, like you need to be extra careful. The wooden floor creaks under your boots and you shift, standing straighter. The saloon's noise, clinking glasses, laughing voices, gets softer, like everyone's holding their breath. The sheriff walks to the bar and his spurs jingle again. He leans against the counter and Jake pours him a mug of water, not whiskey. "Quiet day?" the sheriff asks, his voice low but clear. Jake nods, saying, "So far." You watch, noticing how the sheriff's hand rests near his belt, where a shiny pistol sits. It's not out, but it's there, a reminder of his power. You smell the dusty scent of his coat, like he's been riding in the hot sun. Your hands feel sweaty, and you wipe them on your pants, feeling the rough fabric. The sheriff's presence changes everything, making the saloon feel smaller, like his shadow covers the whole room. Listen close. The saloon's still buzzing, but it's different now. People talk in low voices, like they're afraid the sheriff will hear. You catch bits of their words, whispers about trouble. "Heard the stagecoach got hit last week," a man says at a table. His friend nods, leaning closer. "Yeah, bandits took the gold, but the driver got shot." You feel a shiver, picturing a dusty road and loud bangs. The story makes the saloon feel tense, like everyone waiting for something to happen. You hear a glass clink as someone sets it down too hard. The air smells like spilled sarsaparilla, sweet and sticky, mixing with the sheriff's leather scent. You move closer to a table, pretending to wipe it with a rag. The wood's rough, scratched from years of use. You listen to more whispers. A woman with a long braid says, "They caught one of those bandits, hung him yesterday." Her voice is quiet and her eyes dart to the sheriff. You feel a knot in your stomach, thinking about a rope and a crowd. The saloon's warm, but you shiver again, feeling the weight of the law. Your rag makes a soft swish on the table, and you smell the tangy whiskey someone spilled. The whispers keep going, like a soft hum, filling the saloon with fear and wonder. Look at the sheriff again. He's still at the bar, sipping his water. His badge shines every time he moves, catching the lantern light. He's talking to Jake, but his eyes keep moving, watching the room. You notice his vest, dark and worn, with a few dust specks from the street. His hat's tipped back a little, showing a line of sweat on his forehead. He's not just a lawman, he's a person, but a strong one, like a mountain nobody can move. You hear a chair scrape as a cowboy stands, careful not to bump the sheriff. The saloon's rhythm feels slower now, like it's waiting for the sheriff to decide what happens next. You step back, still holding your rag. The saloon's full of people, but they're all careful. A man at a corner table plays cards, but he keeps glancing at the sheriff. A woman serving beans moves slower, like she's afraid to make noise. You smell the beans, warm and smoky, but the fear in the air is stronger. Your boots stick to a sticky spot on the floor and you pull them free, hearing a soft squish. The sheriff's power isn't just in his badge, it's in how everyone acts, like they need to follow his rules to stay safe. Now listen to another whisper. Two cowboys at a table near you are talking low. Heard there was a shootout last month, one says. Sheriff took down two outlaws by himself. His friend nods, eyes wide. Yeah, he's fast with that pistol. You picture the sheriff standing in the street, dust swirling, guns banging. Your heart beats faster and you wipe the table harder, feeling the rough wood under your rag. The story makes the sheriff seem even stronger, like he's not afraid of anything. The saloon's noise picks up a little, but it's still careful, like everyone's thinking about the law. You move to another table, closer to the bar. A man with a patched coat is talking to his friend. They say someone's planning another robbery, he whispers. Sheriff's watching the new guy in town. You glance at a stranger in the corner, sitting alone with a hat pulled low. He's sipping whiskey and his eyes don't meet anyone's. You feel a chill, wondering if he's trouble. The saloon's buzzing with this new rumor, like bees in a hive. You smell tobacco from a pipe nearby, sweet and thick, mixing with the whiskey scent. Your hands shake a little and you grip the rag tighter, feeling its damp cloth. The sheriff finishes his water and sets the mug down with a soft clank. He turns and his spurs jingle as he walks toward the doors. Everyone watches, quiet. His boots thud steady and strong and the badge flashes one more time. He pushes the doors open and they creak, letting in a puff of dusty air. Then he's gone, but the saloon doesn't relax. People keep whispering and you hear more stories. Sheriff caught a thief last week, a woman says, locked him up fast. You feel the law's power, like a heavy blanket over the town. You step into the saloon and it's like walking into the heart of this Wild West town. The place is alive with people talking, laughing, and sharing stories. Folks gather here to chat, make friends, and sometimes argue, but it's where the town feels like one big family. The air hums with voices, and every clink of a glass or strum of a guitar feels warm, like a hug. You're not just here to work, you're part of a group that holds the town together. Around you, cowboys tell tales of long rides, merchants share news from faraway places, and travelers swap yarns about dusty trails. Every story, laugh, or shout builds the town's spirit, even when things get tense. The saloon is a wide, noisy room, glowing with soft light from lanterns on the walls. You push through the swinging doors and they creak like an old rocking chair. The air smells like whiskey, sharp and tangy, mixed with a smoky puff from a fire burning in the corner. The wooden floor is worn, sticky in spots from spilled drinks, and your boots thud softly as you walk. You hear a jingle from a cowboy's spurs and a loud laugh from a table nearby. The tables are scattered everywhere, some wobbly, with chairs full of people. The bar runs along one wall, shiny from years of wiping. Bottles of whiskey and tin mugs sparkle in the light. You grab a tray to carry drinks, but you pause, feeling the saloon's energy like a big, happy song. Look around the tavern. It's packed with folks. A cowboy with a dusty hat leans back, telling a story to his friends. A woman in a bright dress serves plates of cornbread, smiling as she chats. At the bar, Jake the bartender pours whiskey, his hands quick and steady. A man strums a guitar in the corner, playing a fast tune that makes people tap their feet. The saloon smells like warm beans and sweet tobacco, mixing with the whiskey's sharp scent. You feel the crowd's buzz like bees in a hive, and it pulls you in. Your hands grip the tray, cold and heavy, but you're excited to be here, part of this lively place. You walk through the crowd, feeling the floor creak under your boots. The saloon's noise wraps around you, voices talking, glasses clinking, chairs scraping. You hear a woman laugh, loud and happy, and a man shout, "That's a lie," in a joking way. The air's warm and sweat tickles your forehead. You wipe it with your sleeve, feeling the soft cotton of your shirt. The saloon's like a big party where everyone's connected, sharing stories and smiles. You set your tray down for a moment, wanting to listen to the tailies floating around. Listen close. A cowboy at a table near you is talking loud. "Rode through a storm last week," he says, his voice rough. "Rained so hard my horse nearly swam." His friends laugh, slapping the table. You picture a dark sky and wet trails, feeling a shiver of excitement. The story makes the saloon feel bigger, like it's full of adventures. You hear a glass clink as someone sets it down. The cowboy's hat is dusty and his hands are rough, like he's lived every word he's saying. You smile, liking how his tale pulls everyone in. You move closer to another table, carrying your tray. A merchant in a clean vest is talking to a traveler. "Heard about a new town east of here," he says. "They found silver." The traveler nods, sipping sarsaparilla. "Bet it's full of bandits," he says, and they chuckle. You set down their drinks, smelling the sweet, fizzy sarsaparilla. The story makes you wonder about faraway places, and the saloon feels like a window to the world. Your boots stick to a sticky spot on the floor, and you pull them free, hearing a soft squish. The crowd's hum grows louder, like a song getting stronger. Now listen to another tale. A woman at a corner table is talking quiet to her friend. "My brother drove a stagecoach last month," she says. "Got robbed, but he outran M," her friend gasps, leaning closer. You feel a jolt, picturing a fast coach and shouting bandits. The story adds a spark to the saloon, like a fire crackling. You set a mug of water down for the woman and she smiles, saying, "Thanks, dear." The water sparkles in the lantern light and you move on, feeling the saloon stories wrap around you like a warm blanket. You head to the bar where Jake is pouring whiskey for a cowboy. The liquid glugs into a mug and the sharp smell stings your nose. Jake winks at you, saying, "Busy night, huh?" You nod, feeling like you're part of his team. The bar's crowded, with folks leaning in to talk. You hear a man say, "Old Tom fought a bear once." His friend laughs, shaking his head. "Tom, he's scared of cats." The saloon roars with laughter and you grin, loving the happy noise. Your tray feels heavy, but you keep moving, carrying drinks to more tables. Look at the crowd again. A young cowboy with a red scarf tells a story about a cattle drive. "Cows ran wild," he says, waving his hands. "Took 3 days to catch M." His friends cheer, clinking their mugs. You set down their drinks, smelling the tangy whiskey. The story makes the saloon feel wild, like the open plains. A woman nearby sings along with the guitar, her voice soft and pretty. The air's thick with smells, smoke, whiskey, cornbread, and it's warm, like a cozy room. Your boots thud on the floor, and you feel the saloon's beat, like a drum in your chest. You stop at a table where an old man sits alone. He's got a white beard and a quiet voice. "Used to mine gold," he says to nobody, staring at his mug. "Lost it all, but I'm still here." You set a mug of sarsaparilla down and he nods, barely looking up. His story feels heavy, like a sad song, but it's part of the saloon's heart. You move on, hearing a loud argument at another table. 2 men are yelling about a card game, but they laugh like it's all fun. The saloon's full of feelings. Happy, sad, loud, quiet, and you're in the middle, carrying your tray. You're still in the saloon, surrounded by the hum of voices and the clink of mugs. The Wild West town feels alive here, with folks sharing tales that make the air buzz. You carry your tray, but you're listening, catching every word. The stories pull you in like a warm fire on a cold night. The saloon's glow, with its lanterns and smoky air, makes every tale feel bigger, like it's part of the town's heart. Move to another table, where a traveler with a worn coat is talking. His voice is quiet, but everyone leans in. "Crossed the desert last month," he says. "No water for 2 days, just me and my mule." You picture hot sand and a tired animal, and your throat feels dry. He sips his whiskey, and the sharp smell mixes with the saloon's smoky scent. "Found a spring just in time," he adds, smiling. His friends cheer, clinking their mugs. Now you set down a new mug of sarsaparilla, and the sweet, fizzy smell tickles your nose. The traveler's tale makes the saloon feel wild, like the desert's right outside. You step back, feeling the floor creak under your boots. The saloon's noise is steady, laughter, chatter, and the soft strum of the guitar. You hear another story from a table nearby. A farmer with a straw hat is talking to his friend. "Lost my crops to a flood last year," he says, his voice low. "Water took everything." You feel a pang, imagining muddy fields and broken fences. He shakes his head but smiles. "Planted again this spring, gotta keep going." His friend pats his shoulder, and you set down their drinks, smelling the warm whiskey. The farmer's story makes the saloon feel strong, like the town can bounce back from anything. Listen close. A woman at the bar is telling a tale to Jake, the bartender. "My cousin saw a ghost town," she says, her eyes wide. "Empty houses, creaky doors, like everyone just left." You shiver, picturing dusty streets and quiet shadows. Jake chuckles, pouring her a drink. "Probably just ran out of gold," he says. The woman laughs, and the saloon's hum gets louder, like her story added a spark. You move past, your tray heavy with mugs. The floor's sticky, and your boots make a squishy sound. The air smells like cornbread now, warm and buttery, mixing with the whiskey's tang. You stop at a table where a young girl sits with her dad. She's telling a story, her voice high and excited. "I saw a wolf," she says, "big and gray out by the creek." Her dad smiles, ruffling her hair. "Sure it wasn't a dog," he teases. She shakes her head, serious. "It howled." You grin, setting down their water. The water sparkles in the lantern light, and you feel the saloon's warmth, like it's a place for everyone, even kids with big stories. The girl's tale makes the crowd chuckle, and the saloon feels cozy, like a big hug. Now hear one more story. A cowboy with a scarred hand leans back, talking to his pals. "Raced a train once," he says, grinning. "My horse was faster." His friends laugh, shaking their heads. "No way," one says, slapping the table. You picture a horse galloping, dust flying, and a loud train whistle. You set down their mugs, and the whiskey's sharp smell mixes with the saloon's smoky air. The cowboy's story makes the room feel alive, like anything's possible. You move on, your tray lighter now, but your heart's full from all the tales. The saloon stories keep flowing like a river. You hear bits of more. A merchant talking about a faraway city, a woman sharing news of a new school, a traveler describing a mountain pass. Each tale adds to the saloon's buzz, making it feel like the center of the world. You wipe your forehead, feeling sweat under your hat. The air's warm and your shirt sticks to your back. The guitar player switches to a slow song and the crowd hums along like they're all connected. You set your tray down, ready to do more than listen. You want to help the saloon's people feel closer. Now you start helping folks, building the saloon's friendships. You walk to a table where a cowboy dropped his hat. It's dusty with a bent brim. You pick it up, brushing it off, and hand it to him. "Thanks, kid," he says, his grin wide. You nod, feeling good. The saloon's noise, clinking glasses, laughing voices wraps around you. You hear a chair scrape as someone stands, and the guitar keeps playing, soft and warm. The air smells like tobacco and beans, and you feel the saloon's heart, like it's beating stronger because you helped. You move to the bar, where Jake's busy pouring drinks. A man with a torn coat is struggling to carry his mugs. You grab one for him, saying, "Let me help." He smiles, relieved. "Mighty kind," he says. You carry the mug to his table and his friends cheer like you're part of their group. The mug's cold and water drips on your hand, cool and wet. The saloon's floor creaks under your boots and you smell whiskey and cornbread mixing in the warm air. Helping feels right, like you're tying the saloon's people together. Look around. The saloon's full of small moments like this. A woman shares her cornbread with a stranger and they laugh like old friends. A cowboy helps another fix a broken chair, their voices loud but happy. You hear a clink as mugs touch in a toast. The guitar player nods at a kid who claps and the kid beams proud. You feel the saloon's warmth like a big family. Your boots thud on the floor and you wipe a table, smelling the tangy whiskey someone spilled. The crowd's hum is steady, like a lullaby, and you're part of it. You stop at a table where two men are arguing, their voices sharp. You cheated at cards, one says, pointing. The other shakes his head, yelling, "I did." You pause, feeling the tension like a storm cloud. Jake looks over, but you step in first. "Need more drinks?" you ask, smiling. They blink, then laugh, easing up. "Sure, kid," one says. You grab their mugs, feeling the cold tin. The saloon's noise softens and the guitar keeps playing like it's calming everyone. You helped and the saloon feels lighter, like you pushed the storm away. Move to another table where a woman's sitting alone. She looks sad, staring at her mug. You set down a fresh sarsaparilla, saying, "This one's on me." She looks up, surprised, and smiles. "Thanks," she says, her voice soft. You nod, feeling warm inside. The saloon smells, smoke, whiskey, cornbread mix in the air and you hear a laugh from another table. Your boots stick to the floor, but you keep moving, helping where you can. The saloon's like a quilt, with every person a patch and you're helping stitch it together. You're deep in the saloon now, surrounded by the chatter and clatter of this Wild West town. The air buzzes with stories, like a campfire crackling with sparks. Your tray is heavy, but you're listening, catching every tale that floats through the tavern. The saloon's glow, with its flickering lanterns and smoky haze, makes each story feel alive, like it's woven into the town's heartbeat. You move through the crowd, feeling the wooden floor creak under your boots, ready to hear more. Step closer to a table where a merchant with a shiny vest is talking. His voice is loud and his hands wave as he speaks. "Sailed down a river last year," he says. "Boat hit a rock, nearly sank." You picture rushing water and a wobbly boat, your heart skipping a beat. His friends gasp, leaning in. "How'd you get out?" one asks. The merchant grins, sipping his sarsaparilla. "Swam to shore, saved my goods." You set down a mug of water and the clear liquid sparkles in the light. The sweet, fizzy smell of sarsaparilla mixes with the saloon's smoky air. His tale makes the room feel big, like the rivers flowing right through the tavern. You move on, hearing another story. A kid with a floppy hat sits on a chair, swinging his legs. He's telling his mom about something he saw. Found a cave by the hill, he says, eyes wide. It was dark, but I heard water dripping. You imagine a cool, shadowy cave, and a shiver runs down your back. His mom smiles, ruffling his hair. You're brave, Tommy, she says. You set down their drinks, smelling the warm whiskey in her mug. The kid's story makes the saloon feel magical, like adventures are everywhere. The floor's sticky, and your boots make a soft squish as you step away. Listen to the crowd. A woman near the bar is chatting with her friend. My aunt ran a shop in a big city, she says, sold hats with feathers. Her friend laughs, picturing fancy hats. Did she meet anyone famous? You feel curious, imagining a busy street with bright shops. The woman nods. Some actor bought her best hat. You set a mug of sarsaparilla down and the sweet smell fills the air. The story adds a shine to the saloon, like a piece of the city here. The guitar player strums a soft tune, and the crowd hums like they're part of the tale. Now hear another yarn. A cowboy with a red bandana leans back, talking to his pals. Chased a wild horse once, he says, his voice low. Ran for miles, but it got away. You picture a horse galloping across the plains, dust flying. His friends shake their heads, grinning. You'll catch it next time, one says. You set down their mugs, and the whiskey's sharp smell stings your nose. The cowboy's tale makes the saloon feel free, like the open land just outside. Your tray feels heavy, but you keep moving, loving the stories that fill the air. You pause near a table where an old woman sits, her hands wrinkled. She's talking quiet, like she's sharing a secret. Lived through a big fire, she says. Lost my house, but neighbors helped me start over. You feel a lump in your throat, imagining flames and kind faces. Her friend pats her hand and you set down their water, the mug cool in your hand. The woman's story makes the saloon feel strong, like the town holds people up. The air's warm and you wipe sweat from your forehead, feeling the saloon's stories tie everyone together. The tales keep coming, like a stream that never stops. You hear a traveler talk about a snowy mountain, a farmer share a story of a big harvest, and a kid giggle about a frog race. Each yarn adds to the saloon's hum, making it feel like the center of the town. The guitar player switches to a faster song and folks tap their feet like the stories are dancing. You set your tray down, ready to do more than listen. You want to help the saloon's people feel like friends. Now you start building friendships, making the tavern's heart beat stronger. You see a cowboy drop his spoon and it clatters on the floor. You pick it up, wiping it with your rag, and hand it back. Thanks, kid, he says, his smile big. You nod, feeling warm inside. The saloon's noise, clinking mugs, laughing voices, wraps around you like a blanket. You hear a chair scrape as someone sits, and the guitar keeps strumming, soft and happy. The air smells like tobacco and warm beans, and you feel the tavern's spirit, like it's growing because you helped. You walk to the bar, where Jake's pouring drinks. A woman with a heavy tray is struggling to carry it. You grab a mug for her, saying, "I got this." She smiles, relieved. "You're a gem," she says. You carry the mug to her table and her friends cheer like you're one of them. The mug's cold and whiskey drips on your hand, sharp and wet. The floor creaks under your boots and you smell cornbread, buttery and warm. Helping feels good, like you're knitting the saloon's people closer. Look around the bar. Small moments are everywhere. A man shares his bread with a kid and they laugh like pals. A cowboy helps a friend fix a wobbly chair, their voice is loud but kind. You hear a clink as mugs touch in a cheer. The guitar player winks at a girl who claps and she beams proud. You feel the saloons glow like a big family. Your boots thud on the floor and you wipe a table, smelling the tangy sarsaparilla someone spilled. The crowd's chatter is steady, like a soft song, and you're part of it. You stop at a table where two men are arguing, their voices sharp. "You took my cards," one says, pointing. The other shakes his head, yelling, "I did." You feel a knot in your chest, like a storm's brewing. Jake glances over, but you step in. "More drinks?" you ask, smiling. They pause, then chuckle, calming down. "Yeah, kid," one says. You grab their mugs, feeling the cool tin. The saloon's noise softens, and the guitar keeps playing like it's soothing everyone. You helped, and the tavern feels lighter, like you chased the storm away. Move to a table where a man sits alone, looking sad. He's staring at his mug, quiet. You set down a fresh sarsaparilla, saying, "This one's free." He looks up, surprised, and smiles. "Thanks, kid," he says, his voice soft. You nod, feeling happy. The saloon smells smoke, whiskey, cornbread mix in the air, and you hear a laugh from another table. Your boots stick to the floor, but you keep moving, helping where you can. The tavern's like a puzzle, with every person a piece, and you're helping fit them together. Now the saloon gets livelier, with folks doing more than talking. You see a group playing cards at a big table. Their voices are loud and cards slap the wood, making a sharp sound. "I win," a cowboy shouts, grinning. His friends groan, but they laugh, tossing coins into a pile. You set down their drinks and the whiskey smell is strong, mixing with the smoky air. The card game makes the saloon feel fun, like a big playground. You wipe your hands on your pants, feeling the rough fabric, and move on. Look at another corner. A few folks are dancing to the guitar player's tune. A woman in a red dress twirls, her skirt spinning. A cowboy claps, his boots stomping the floor, thud thud. You smile, feeling the saloon's joy like it's bubbling over. You set a tray of mugs down nearby and the sarsaparilla's sweet smell mixes with the warm air. The dancing makes the tavern glow, like everyone sharing the same happiness. Your boots creak on the floor and you feel the music like it's pulling you in. You move to a table where a man's teaching a kid to play checkers. The kid moves a piece and the man cheers, "Good one." The kid grins, proud. You set down their water and the mugs cool in your hand. The game makes the saloon feel kind, like folks care about each other. You hear a clink as someone toasts nearby and the guitar keeps strumming, fast and lively. The air's thick with smells, tobacco, beans, whiskey, and it's warm, like a cozy blanket. You're part of this, helping the saloon shine. You step into the saloon, and it's like walking into the busiest spot in this Wild West town. The place hums with people swapping things, buying drinks, and sharing news from faraway places. Folks come here to trade food, tools, or even stories, making the saloon feel like the town's heart. Every clink of coins or rustle of goods feels exciting, like a game everyone's playing. You're not just here to work, you're part of a big web that keeps the town alive and connected to the world. Around you, cowboys trade shiny coins for whiskey, merchants offer cloth for eggs, and travelers bring tales of new lands. Every swap or chat ties the town together like threads in a blanket. The saloon is a wide, noisy room, glowing with soft light from lanterns on the walls. You push through the swinging doors and they squeak like an old cart wheel. The air smells like whiskey, sharp and strong, mixed with a dusty whiff from sacks of flour stacked in a corner. The wooden floor is worn, sticky in spots from spilled drinks, and your boots thud softly as you walk. You hear a jingle from coins in a man's pocket and a loud laugh from a table nearby. The tables are covered with goods, bundles of cloth, piles of apples, shiny tools, making the saloon look like a market. The bar runs along one wall, polished and bright, with bottles of whiskey and tin mugs sparkling in the light. You grab a tray to carry drinks, but you pause, feeling the saloon's energy like a river flowing fast. Look around the tavern. It's packed with folks trading and talking. A cowboy with a dusty hat counts coins, handing them to Jake, the bartender, for a mug of sarsaparilla. A woman in a patched apron holds a basket of eggs, offering them to a man with a roll of cloth. At the bar, a traveler with a heavy pack sets down a small bag of shiny rocks, asking for whiskey. The saloon smells like warm bread and leather, mixing with the whiskey's tangy scent. You feel the crowd's buzz like a beehive full of action, and it pulls you in. Your hands grip the tray, cold and heavy, but you're excited to be here, part of this lively place. You walk through the crowd, feeling the floor creak under your boots. The saloon's noise wraps around you, voices haggling, coins clinking, chairs scraping. You hear a man shout, 2 apples for a knife, and a woman laugh, saying, make it 3. The air's warm and sweat tickles your forehead. You wipe it with your sleeve, feeling the soft cotton of your shirt. The saloon's like a big market, where everyone swaps or buys to get what they need. You set your tray down for a moment, wanting to watch the trades happening all around. Listen close. A merchant at a table near you is offering a shiny tool, a hammer, to a farmer. Good for fixing fences, he says, his voice loud. The farmer nods, holding out a sack of potatoes. These are fresh, he says. They shake hands and the deal's done. You picture a sturdy fence and a warm potato stew, feeling happy for them. You set down a mug of water and the clear liquid sparkles in the light. The hammer's metal shines and the potatoes smell earthy, mixing with the saloon's smoky air. The trade makes the tavern feel alive, like everyone's helping each other. You move closer to another table, carrying your tray. A cowboy with a red scarf is trading coins for a new belt. This'll hold up, the seller says, showing the thick leather. The cowboy grins, handing over shiny coins that clink in the seller's hand. You set down their drinks, smelling the sweet, fizzy sarsaparilla. The belt's leather smell is strong, mixing with the whiskey's tang. The trade makes you think of long rides and sturdy gear, and the saloon feels strong, like it's full of things that keep the town going. Your boots stick to a sticky spot on the floor, and you pull them free, hearing a soft squish. Now listen to another deal. A woman at the bar is swapping a basket of apples for a bottle of whiskey. These are sweet, she says to Jake, holding up a red apple. Jake nods, sliding the bottle across the counter. Good trade, he says. You imagine biting into a juicy apple and your mouth waters. You set a mug of water down for a man nearby and the whiskey's sharp smell fills the air. The trade makes the saloon feel warm, like everyone's sharing what they have. The guitar player strums a soft tune, and the crowd hums like they're happy with the deals. You stop at a table where a traveler is trading a small knife for a loaf of bread. The knife's blade shines and the bread smells warm and yeasty. "This'll feed me for days," the traveler says, smiling. The bread seller nods, tucking the knife away. You set down their mugs, and the sarsaparilla's sweet scent mixes with the bread's warmth. The trade makes the saloon feel kind, like folks care about each other's needs. You hear a clink as coins drop at another table, and the tavern's noise grows like a song getting louder. Look at the crowd again. A man trades a sack of flour for a pair of boots, and they laugh, shaking hands. A woman swaps a bundle of cloth for a shiny spoon, her eyes bright. You feel the saloon's energy, like a market full of treasures. Your boots thud on the floor and you wipe a table, smelling the tangy whiskey someone spilled. The crowd's chatter is steady, like a river flowing, and you're part of it. You set your tray down, ready to help with the trades and see more deals. You move to the bar where Jake, counting coins from a cowboy. A woman with a heavy sack of corn is struggling to lift it. You grab the sack, saying, "Let me help." She smiles, relieved. "Thanks, kid," she says. You carry it to her table and her friends cheer like you're one of them. The corn smells earthy and the sack's rough against your hands. The floor creaks under your boots and you smell whiskey and bread mixing in the warm air. Helping feels right, like you're making the saloon's trades smoother. You step into the saloon, and it feels like the warmest spot in this Wild West town. The place glows with people talking about their wishes and plans, like stars shining in the night. Folks gather here to share their big dreams, owning a farm, finding gold, or building a house, and make steps to make them real. Every laugh or soft word feels full of hope, like a sunny day after rain. You're not just here to work, you're part of a group chasing a brighter future. Around you, cowboys talk about new trails, farmers hope for good crops, and newcomers plan to stay. Every wish or idea makes the town feel alive, like a seed ready to grow. The saloon is a wide, cozy room, lit by soft lanterns hanging on the walls. You push through the swinging doors and they creak like an old porch swing. The air smells like whiskey, sharp and tangy, mixed with a sweet whiff of cornbread from a plate nearby. The wooden floor is worn, sticky in places from spilled drinks, and your boots thud softly as you walk. You hear a jingle from coins in a man's pocket and a quiet chuckle from a table. The tables are scattered around, some holding papers or small tools, like folks are planning something big. The bar stretches along one wall, shiny from wiping, with bottles of whiskey and tin mugs glowing in the light. You grab a tray to carry drinks, but you pause, feeling the saloon's happy buzz like a warm breeze. Look around the tavern. It's full of folks sharing their hopes. A cowboy with a wide hat leans forward, talking about a new ranch. A woman in a blue dress sketches a house on a scrap of paper, smiling. At the bar, Jake, the bartender, listens to a man talk about a gold mine. The saloon smells like warm beans and smoky tobacco, mixing with the whiskey's strong scent. You feel the crowd's excitement, like a fire sparking to life, and it pulls you in. Your hands grip the tray, cold and heavy, but you're thrilled to be here, part of this hopeful place. You walk through the crowd, feeling the floor squeak under your boots. The saloon's noise wraps around you, voices chatting, mugs clinking, chairs shifting. You hear a woman say, "I'm gonna plant a big garden," and a man reply, "That'll feed the whole town." The air's warm and sweat tickles your forehead. You wipe it with your sleeve, feeling the soft cotton of your shirt. The saloon's like a big dream factory where everyone's thinking about tomorrow. You set your tray down for a moment, wanting to hear the wishes floating around. Listen close. A cowboy at a table near you is talking loud. "I'm heading west," he says, his voice strong. "Gonna find a valley and build a ranch." You picture green fields and happy cows and your heart lifts. His friends nod, one saying, "You'll need a good horse." You set down a mug of sarsaparilla and the sweet, fizzy smell fills the air. The cowboy's dream makes the saloon feel open, like the wide plains are right outside. His hat's dusty and his hands are rough, like he's ready to make his wish come true. You move closer to another table, carrying your tray. A farmer with a worn coat is talking to his wife. "We'll save for more land," he says. "A big farm with wheat and corn." She smiles, squeezing his hand. You imagine golden fields waving in the wind and you feel warm inside. You set down their drinks, smelling the sharp whiskey in their mugs. The farmer's hope makes the saloon feel strong, like the town growing with every dream. Your boots stick to a sticky spot on the floor and you pull them free, hearing a soft squish. Now listen to another wish. A woman at the bar is chatting with Jake. "I want to open a shop," she says, her eyes bright. "Sell dresses and hats." Jake grins, pouring her a drink. "You'll make this town fancy," he says. You picture a shop with colorful clothes and you smile. You set a mug of water down for a man nearby and the whiskey's tangy smell mixes with the saloon's smoky air. The woman's dream makes the tavern feel pretty, like it's ready to shine. The guitar player strums a soft tune and the crowd hums like they're cheering her on. You stop at a table where a young man sits, his face eager. "I'm gonna find gold," he says to his friend. "There's a stream up north full of it." His friend laughs, shaking his head. "You'll need luck." You imagine a sparkling stream and a shiny nugget and your heart races. You set down their mugs and the sarsaparilla's sweet scent mixes with the warm air. The young man's hope makes the saloon feel adventurous, like treasures waiting. You hear a clink as someone sets a mug down, and the tavern's noise grows like a song of dreams. Look at the crowd again. A girl with braids talks about teaching kids to read, her voice soft but sure. A cowboy sketches a map, planning a trip to a new town. You feel the saloon's glow like it's full of big ideas. Your boots thud on the floor and you wipe a table, smelling the tangy whiskey someone spilled. The crowd's chatter is steady, like a gentle stream, and you're part of it. You set your tray down, ready to hear more dreams and see how folks plan to make them real. You move to a table where a man's counting coins, his face serious. "Saving for a wagon," he says to his friend. "Gonna travel far." You picture a sturdy wagon rolling across the plains and you nod, impressed. You set down their drinks and the whiskey's sharp smell stings your nose. The man's plan makes the saloon feel free, like the world's open to explore. The floor creaks under your boots and you smell cornbread, warm and buttery, mixing with the smoky air. You keep moving, feeling the tavern's hopeful beat.